appreciate that you braved the rain and made your way over to Alumni Gym. This is always a special time of year I call this closing day, even though we have lots more activity. If you think about opening day, this is our anchoring event on the academic year, and we definitely are sprinting toward a finish line in just a few days. So I thought I would just highlight some of the great things from my seat that have happened this year as we have been guided by our mission of Newman Lumen, Knowledge and Light, which truly is the heartbeat of our campus and definitely the engine behind all of the good work that we do is that very powerful mission. If this is your first time at this event, can you please stand if you're new and this is hopefully you're new, so we can welcome you. To our new team members, I really hope that you had a great year as you've gotten to know Elon. So this year, some of the things that we've had the privilege of celebrating is the good innovative work culminating. One of the things that we kicked off the year with was our third consecutive year being recognized for excellence in undergraduate teaching. Truly what I love about that is that this is something we work very hard at as an institution. We have a lot of intentionality in our undergraduate teaching space, and so to be recognized by our peers for that success is really empowering. The Board of Trustees was so moved by this success that they established a board chair to celebrate undergraduate teaching, and one of the exciting things that happened this year is Dr. Christina Meinking, a professor of classical languages, became the inaugural faculty member to sit in that chair, and so it was I even attended a class that she taught, and it was exciting to see her get that up and running, and it is sure to be a great asset for Elon in the future. We also celebrated the Love School of Business, again, being recognized as a top 40 business school in the nation, and its third accreditation cycle without any recommendations, all just fantastic reviews. That was exciting to see. I recently visited with the nursing program and our students there for the second year in a row. This is a new program, so for the two sittings of the exam, both classes have scored 100%. So you know the third group was listening very closely to what I was saying as they prepare to take their board exams. The good work that's happening across campus and our Student Professional Development Center was also recognized as a top 10 in the country. Our campus facilities, so this great campus dining experience that we're having right now was also for the first time ranked as a top 25 in campus designing and our residential facilities on campus. Study abroad returned to its #1 position, being recognized by the Institute for International Education and has robustly returned out of COVID-19. We were able to launch our faculty and staff study abroad experience. Greg Zeiser, Vice President Greg Zeiser and Vice President Janet Williams taking a cohort of about 20 on their 20 faculty and staff on an experience abroad, which was a lot of fun to watch on social media as they engaged in London. Also, we have had just a great number of success stories in our fellowships office. I had the pleasure of visiting with Ronnie Dahl. He's class of 26. He was recently named a Goldwater Scholar, and what just a fantastic young person. And he has, his idea is that he wants to create non-invasive medical testing. And so that kind of like the airport screen, but that it would scan you and be able to read some vital information. And it's really exciting. And then I know that office also had a record number of Fulbright finalists this year. So really great work in the arts and sciences and our STEM programs. Many of you helped us this year by participating in the mentoring initiatives that Dr. Buffy Longmire-Avital and Dr. Emily Kretschel are leading on through the mentoring design team. Lots of people involved in that, which is really the groundwork for a very powerful new priority as part of Boldly Elon that takes what we do so well and works to amplify it, providing it to all of our students, faculty, and staff. So excited about that. We also had the chance to celebrate the careers of Drs. Ann Cahill and Mary Jo Festel as they were recognized as Distinguished University Professors, which is Elon's highest faculty honor. And that was really heartwarming, and the community there and the celebration. We also, if you have not gone past Loy Farm, it's really exciting to see the small, tiny eco-village coming out of the ground there, which is an exciting project by our environmental sustainability. It's a collaborative effort and our construction team. And we're also preparing to break ground later this year on the Healthy U building. And we're watching East Commons come out of the ground. You know, all of those things help remind us just about progress and that what this community can do as we work to continue to build America's finest higher education system. So really proud of that. As a matter of fact, we had two alums, class of 98 and 99, Mark and Kim Tyson, who were so inspired by that work in Healthy U that they provided the first major gift in our effort to raise money for that project, providing a gift of $3 million to name Elon's Counseling Services Center in that new building. So really inspired by them and their trust and confidence in us and the important work we're doing around mental health and well-being was really just fantastic. So I just wanted to highlight a few things. There's so much good work that happens every day on the sidewalk, in our classrooms, every day as we invest in each other. And I always say that the most important work we're doing is with people. And making that a priority. So today, our celebration is all about people. And that's why I love this luncheon. The people today we're celebrating having extraordinary impact on Elon. And I hope that you all, as you enjoy lunch, feel a great sense of satisfaction of a job well done this year. It has not been a year without external challenges that we're all watching very closely, and I'm really appreciative of the work that this community has done in response to thinking through strategically how our mission responds to events outside of the campus. So thank you. Job well done, Elon. So to get us started, I'd like to call on University Chaplain and Dean for Multi-Faith Engagement, Kirsten Boswell, who will kick us off with our invocation this afternoon.
I will try to get through this without losing my voice. But would you please join me in an attitude of prayer? We are thankful to have arrived at this moment of celebration, of recognition of the journey and the effort needed to achieve despite the unique challenges facing those of us on college and university campuses nationwide. In the words of Maya Angelou, no human can know where they're going unless they know exactly where they have been and exactly how they arrived at this present place. And so we gather in this space, knowing that we are celebrating the collaboration and the mutuality that allow us to ensure that every Elon student is impacted by the excellence in this room. We are each called to a great service in educating the generation that will follow us. Whatever point you may be on this journey, remember that it is through great perseverance, tempered with great love, that our common humanity is affirmed, and the beloved community that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about is birthed. In Dr. King's words, we speak of a love that is not sentimental or affectionate. It is an understanding, a redeeming goodwill for all, an overflowing love which seeks nothing in return. And so let us embody that love. As we engage in this celebratory time, and you go out to lend your skills and efforts toward building this beloved community, know that you are the wildest dream and greatest hope of those who came before and those who will follow. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Boswell. If you all were here for opening day, you probably remember I opened with a deep fake. It was a video AI generated. So I'm just going to say that all of the videos we're showing today are real. But before we do that, I did want to recognize people celebrating years of service, which is one of the really special things we do at Elon. We had our series of luncheons this spring, and we celebrated the employment anniversaries of our faculty and staff. We celebrate 5 for the new folks. It starts when you're in your 5th year, and 10th, 15th, and so on. So today, I would like to take a few minutes to recognize university employees that are celebrating more than 2 decades. So if you have been an employee at Elon celebrating 20 or 25 years of service, would you please stand and be recognized? So I'd also like to honor faculty and staff celebrating 30, 35, and 40 years of service. So when I call your name, would you please stand, and we're going to hold our applause. Stand and remain standing, and then we'll applaud at the end. So employees with 30 years of service: Martin Fowler, Lynette Lorenzetti, Patrick Murphy, Michelle Stevens, Geneva Weatherford. Employees with 35 years of service: Stephen Bray, Jeff Clark, Linda Seichert, Gail Key, Sharon LaRocco, Felicia Massey, Wani Sen, Jamie Talley, Chris Williams. Celebrating 40 years of service: Angie Gilmore and Ray Johnson. Collectively, this group represents 2,060 years of service to Elon. So today we are honored to have our dear friends and colleagues who have already retired joining, which is one of my favorite parts of the luncheon. So if you have retired and have joined us for lunch today, will you please stand so we can welcome you? Thank you for being here and continuing to be engaged with the community. 23 members of the Elon faculty and staff have retired or will retire this year. Retiring are Barry Bradbury, Barb Carlton, Paul Holt, Stephen House, Renee Jackson, Katie King, Cassie Kircher, Richard Landsberg, Patty Rooney, Patricia Rooney, Wani Sen, Terry Tomasek, Anthony Totten, Melanie Truitt, Amy Vaughn, Bud Warner, Catherine Wasson, Geneva Weatherford, Kyle Wills. This afternoon, we will celebrate the careers of 4 members of our community who chose to have a colleague speak on their behalf. We will begin with remarks by Ann Cahill for Nim Batchelor.
So the thing you need to understand about Nim Batchelor is that although he's been a member of Elon's philosophy department for 34 years, it's impossible to convey a sense of his curiosity and intellect by only referring to what he's accomplished here on campus. Before he earned his PhD in philosophy from University of Nebraska-Lincoln, he was a high school science teacher. While working at Elon, he has developed mastery in a wide range of skills: woodworking, electrical engineering, Thai and Indian cuisine, cryptography, genealogy. And to speak of any of these as mere hobbies risks underestimating the degree of his expertise in them. Nim loves to learn, loves how it feels to move from being a novice to an expert. And that love of learning has infused his teaching, as he constantly sought to create the conditions by which students could also be at the edge of their capacities. He designed classes that spoke to his own developing philosophical interests, including economic justice and the ethics of resistance and dissent, to which he brought not only his expertise in the philosophy of law, but also his abiding and ferocious commitment to democracy and freedom. His highly influential class, Crafting a Meaningful Life, was inspired by his certification as a philosophical counselor under the auspices of the American Philosophical Practitioners Association, a natural extension of his belief in philosophy's potential to help all of us better grapple with the struggles that the human condition inevitably presents. Teaching was central to Nim's work as a faculty member, and he did it extraordinarily well. He also made substantial contributions to students' lives and futures while serving as Elon's pre-law advisor for 14 years. This role led to multiple leadership positions in the field of pre-law advising, including serving as president of the Southern Association of Pre-Law Advisors and as chair of the Pre-Law Advisors National Council. Nim also served 3 stints as department chair in the philosophy department, always providing steady and thoughtful leadership. And he was one of the architects of the vision that has grounded our department for over 3 decades now, a vision virtually unheard of in our field, a department dedicated to the idea that philosophy, as a field and a discipline, can enrich our lives and can even make us better people. Nim developed and protected and forwarded this vision. And one of the crucial ways that he did so was by providing support, encouragement, and reassurance to his colleagues. Nim is an amazing cheerleader. And when you don't need a cheerleader, he's a lively intellectual interlocutor. The times that he would come into my office, plop himself down in a chair, look at me intently, and restart the argument that we've been having for a quarter of a century about the nature of reality are some of my most cherished times at Elon. We will all miss Nim around the philosophy suite next year. I fear that our conversations will be less wide-ranging without him there. And yet I think we're all a bit on the edge of our seats too, wondering what new field of knowledge he'll have mastered by the next time we meet.
So I'd like to thank Anne for that wonderful tribute. And I'd also like to thank the philosophy department and all of its members for being such a nurturing community to help me become my best self. But as I think back about the 33-year legacy that I have here at Elon, there's one moment in particular that shaped that entire career. And so I thought I would share with you the story of that moment. So I was teaching a class, and I came back from teaching that class, and I walked into John Sullivan's office, and I said, "John, I just had the best class. You know, I did this, and I did that, and then this happened, and then I did this, and I did that." And after having gone on for probably way too long, he says to me, "Oh, so I understand that a lot of good teaching occurred." And I'm like, "Yes, John, I did this, and I did that." And of course, I repeated myself for way too long. And then he listened politely, and then at the end of that he said, "So I hear a lot of good teaching occurred." And I said, "Yes." And then he said, "And how much learning occurred?" Whoa, you know, oh, okay. And I paused and I thought, and that moment shaped my entire career, that it wasn't about me. It wasn't about what I did in the classroom, but it was about what can I do in the classroom to advance my students' learning. And I've tried to be guided by that insight for my entire career, and I hope I've done it well. So thank you to John Sullivan, and thank you to the philosophy department.
One of the pleasures of university life at Elon is crossing paths with colleagues from across campus. Our colleagues are lovely people who engage students in thinking deeply about their disciplines. They are smart, interesting, and accomplished beyond what meets the eye. This is very much true of Prenab Das. For over 30 years in the Department of Physics, Prenab cheered students to expand their minds beyond what they expected to be possible. Working out subtleties of physics on the board, researching topics in energy and climate impacts, engaging in creative play in the lab, or having a deeply meaningful conversation on the couch in Prenab's office, students grew in ways that will stay with them throughout life. Prenab is very much an Elon professor. He helped to develop the core curriculum in its early days and the Global Experience course. He was part of the team to initiate SURF, taught several classes in the study abroad program, and pitched in to make Elon hum, such as chairing his department for over a decade and being part of curriculum committees for over 15 years. Anyone who has had the pleasure to talk to Prenab recognizes his sharp intellect and a wide set of interests beyond physics. These extensive interests led to a career of singular success in grant funding. With Professor Emeritus Jeff Pugh, Prenab brought grants to Elon to run classes on the intersection of science and religion. Prenab secured millions of dollars in grants to support scholarship in science and spirituality in non-Western countries. He led a $2 million project as principal investigator and managing editor to select, purchase, and distribute books in a library of science and religion, sending volumes to under-resourced institutions in 45 countries worldwide. He served as principal advisor to a $50 million foundation initiative to create global research collaborations on interdisciplinary studies of intelligences in humans, non-human animals, and machines. Throughout, he gave talks and led conference sessions in over 20 countries and taught generation of Elon students. What's next for Prenab? Perhaps less grant writing, but sitting still is not quite an option. His recent work on different types of intelligences dovetails with developments in AI, so he's involved with projects that take him to Nepal and Australia. Prenab, we wish you well in your retirement, and thank you for breaking barriers in perception of what Elon professors can accomplish.
Well, it's just lovely to be here, and I'm very, very grateful to Martin and to so many of you. I'm also taken with this moment. We're enjoying our company and living in a world that has great troubles that we're aware of and sort of suffering through collectively. I think that the challenges, the great tragedies in the Middle East remind us of the fact that there are multiple truths that can be and must be taken at the same time. And in a much more mundane setting, I think that idea of multiple truth applies to us here. Higher education is a commodity, and the university is a bastion of free thought. Outsider voices, underrepresented ideas are essential, and yet the Western canon is the beating heart of the liberal arts. Elon is not an R1 institution, and yet you all have important contributions to make to the intellectual life of the world. Our students are the center, as Connie said, of much of the mission of Elon University, and yet the things that you can do sometimes take you outside of the classroom. I ask you as a faculty to remember that you create your own community. You are in the old expression, you are the keepers of your own asylum. You will choose you will select your kin. You will choose whom to honor. You will lift up. You will mentor. And in every case, there will be a temptation to be drawn to one of the truths that is most comfortable. I am so grateful that Elon and my colleagues gave me the chance to not be stuck in any one of the models, the molds of conventional academics. And I've had this incredible opportunity to explore, to do different things, and I'm just grateful to the generation of my colleagues, and I hope that they pass on to you the idea that there are many truths and many ways to be a successful and very, very grateful faculty member at Elon University. Thank you so much.
Greetings. I met Mary 15 years ago when I served on the early childhood program design team that she chaired. Her knowledge and expertise were immediately apparent, and I've been fortunate to work with her since. Mary has made so many contributions to the Dr. Joe Watts Williams School of Education and to the university as a whole, and I'm only permitted time to mention a few. So here goes. Teaching. Mary's impact on our teacher ed majors has been tremendous. Her passion for and knowledge of early literacy development comes through clearly in her instruction. Her students, in turn, extend her impact as they graduate with the tools to facilitate literacy development in their own preschool and K-12 students. Mary has taught many community-based learning courses in which Elon students partner with children's family members in the village and little village to support emergent literacy. Such courses have provided opportunities for Elon students to learn from and with families, which can be difficult to do in structured school settings. Mary's exemplary teaching was recognized with the School of Education Excellence in Teaching Award in 2012. Research. I've had the benefit of collaborating with Mary on several projects, but I'd like to highlight one: the community-based research project Strong Beginnings for Babies, which Mary envisioned and secured funding for. She also prepared coaches to partner with families of infants in support of early language interactions. Throughout the 2 years of Strong Beginnings for Babies, Mary's commitment to the children, families, coaches, community, equity, and social justice was clear. Following successful implementation of the project and analysis and publication of outcomes, the Language Interaction Program and technology continue to be used by the Alamance Partnership for Children to provide professional development for local early childhood practitioners, thus extending the impact of her project. I've enjoyed traveling and presenting with Mary at national and international conferences, and the Watts Williams School of Education recognized the significance of her scholarly activities with the Faculty Excellence Award in 2019. Service. You have probably served on a committee with Mary at some point. Let's just say she served on many and her contributions were significant. Leadership. I want to recognize Mary's leadership during the past several years as director of the newly revisioned MED program. In this role, she worked on curriculum changes, assessment plans, recruitment, and more. She leaves us with a thriving program currently admitting its 4th cohort of graduate candidates since the revision. I must close, but cannot do so without acknowledging that Mary has not only been a wonderful colleague, generous in sharing her expertise, but she has also been a valued friend. Thanks for the laughs and many hearty congratulations on your retirement, Mary.
Hello, I'd like to thank Heidi, even though she's not here right now. She's in New Zealand, but I wanted to thank her for her kind words and for taking the time to make the video for me while she was away with the teaching fellows. I also want to thank my husband, who could be on stage here with me today, since Heidi could not be. He has seen me through many peaks and valleys of working here at Elon, and every day he tells me he loves me more. Since this will be my only chance ever to give a hug and a kiss to my husband, well, you all applaud, I'm going to do that now. I didn't warn him. I also want to thank my colleagues who partnered with me in research: Alexa Darby, Joan Barnett, Judy Fulmer, and Ren Bryan. Heidi Hollingsworth's name is on my CV as much as my own. I have profound gratitude for all the work she chose to do with me. Thank you to all of my colleagues in the Dr. Joe Watts Williams School of Education. Our mission in education binds us together, and it will always be a part of my life. Working closely with Lisa Thompson in our literacy courses in these past couple of years has brought me so much joy. For the past 6 years, I have been the director of Elon's Master of Education program. I am happy to say that the MED program now has its own Phoenix story. Lastly, I'd like to share a short anecdote related to my teaching at Elon. A couple of years ago, our former director of assessment, Catrice Hawthorne, was conducting interviews with graduates of our teacher education program. I saw Catrice, and she mentioned to me that my name came up in several interviews. She then read from her notes that a graduate had said, "Every day I use what Dr. Knight-McKenna taught me." I was so moved, it was hard for me to breathe. After all, what more could a professor ask for? Then Catrice said to me, "Mary, she wasn't the only one." So I leave Elon today with a strong sense of fulfillment as I head off to play with my 10 grandchildren. As a woman who hailed from the north, it's time for me to say, bye, y'all.
I'm honored to join with all of you in paying tribute and thanking our longtime colleague and friend, Senior Vice President Emeritus Gerald Whittington, who is concluding 32 years of service to Elon University. Gerald's extraordinary career leading Elon's business, finance, and technology operations is truly historic. He has been a financial visionary and a strategic architect who is the conductor of Elon's orchestra, guiding and directing our transformation from a regional college to a national university. Under Gerald's leadership, the university's operating budget soared from $38 million to almost $250 million, while the endowment grew nearly tenfold from $18 million to over $250 million. His financial stewardship allowed 4 strategic plans to become reality as enrollment doubled and campus facilities quadrupled in size. His close collaboration with 3 presidents and 2 provosts is unequaled in higher education. Gerald worked tirelessly to translate institutional priorities into financial strategies, fueling Elon's rise to the upper echelon of national rankings while preserving affordability. In 2018, he was named the nation's top business officer by the National Association of College and University Business Officers, NACUBO. It was great recognition, but we already knew he was the best. What sets Gerald apart is his rare ability to harmonize financial discipline with creative possibilities. It is an approach that exemplifies his passion for the liberal arts, his insatiable curiosity, his multifaceted talents, and his incredible insight. He is equally comfortable talking about bond financing, architectural blueprints, HR policies, or enterprise software systems. Oh, and just about anything else. Gerald is a keen financial strategist, voracious reader, student of public policy, accomplished communicator and presenter, engaging teacher, and to top it all off, he's a classical vocal performer. I always loved those days when Gerald had to leave a senior staff meeting to grab his tuxedo and get ready for a performance singing bass with bel canto. Gerald's warm presence, generous spirit fostered friendship across the university, and he's been a role model for all who have worked with him over more than 3 decades. So today, we honor more than Gerald's remarkable professional achievements. We celebrate a unique and transformative figure in Elon's history. And we also pay tribute to his partner, Roberta, for supporting this special journey. Gerald, the masterpiece that is your career has transformed Elon, and your legacy will inspire us always. Long live Gerald Whittington.
continue to applaud.
It's called building tension. Hello, everyone. And thank you, President Book, for that kind tribute. Hard to recognize myself in it. Well, what do you say after a career of 32 years? First of all, it has been the honor of my life to serve here at Elon. I could not have had a better life experience working with the colleagues that I have. I want to name every single one of them. Settle back in your chairs. Of course, I won't name them. But as it is often said in other contexts, it's the people that make your experience so wonderful. And it's the people who made the institution rise in every single facet of its being. And it's the people who dream, plan, and then execute those dreams and plans to become a place where, as Leela Faye Rich constantly said when I was first here, what's the best for students? That is the only litmus test that matters. When I first came to Elon, there were great people here. During my time here, other great people have joined us. No matter what unit they worked in, no matter how long or how short they stayed, they all came to appreciate that litmus test and apply it in their own work. So I retire thinking of a hope. Once I was at Elon for a while and realized what an incredibly special and unique environment had been nurtured and had blossomed here, I had a hope. It was this. I hope that far in the future, when a historian writes the history of Elon, that they will call out this time, we are in as the golden age of Elon. And when that historian says that the Elon golden age lasted from this point to that point, from here to there in time, and then fell away, I hope that I will have been dead and buried for many decades before that end. I'm counting on all of you to make that hope a real one. That the golden age of Elon will continue far into the future. Looking around this room, I'm pretty sure it will be so. Thank you for being at Elon. Good luck, fair winds, and boldly go to ever higher planes. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to introduce my colleague, Dr. Brian Lyons, who has been named Love Term Professor of Business by President Book. Dr. Lyons is joined here by his spouse, Kate Hodgson. Dr. Lyons joined Elon as an Associate Professor of Management in 2014 and was recently promoted to the rank of Professor. He teaches courses in human resource management and also management courses at both the undergraduate and graduate levels. Dr. Lyons is an outstanding teacher. His knowledge of the human resources field, a strong commitment to teaching, and a passion for challenging students sets his classes apart. He sets high standards for achievement and provides feedback that helps his students learn. He has invested substantial time and effort to ensure his courses have explored such topics as wage transparency and bias in performance management. He has pursued professional development in DEI issues and integrated them into his courses. Dr. Lyons also serves as the LSB's Faculty Director of Graduate Programs and is the faculty advisor for Elon's chapter of the Society for Human Resource Management. He has also served on the full-time ongoing Faculty Teaching Appointments Committee as co-chair, came out of his sabbatical to finish that report, and serves on the Institutional Review Board, Grading Appeals Committee, Leadership Prize Committee, and the Advisory Board of the Student Professional Development Center. Dr. Lyons' scholarship is programmatic and shows methodological rigor. He has published in the prestigious Journal of Applied Psychology, as well as numerous other highly regarded journals. The quality of his research earned him the 2016 LSB Dean's Award for Scholarship. He also serves as a co-PI on a grant of $500,000 from the Office of Naval Research. In addition, he serves on 4 editorial review boards and was recently named an outstanding reviewer by one of the journals. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Brian Lyons on his appointment as Love Term Professor.
Thank you, Dean Tapp-Hawley, President Book, Provost Cohn, and my fellow colleagues in the Love School of Business and across campus for this honor. I'm grateful to work at an institution where our values align with Elon's mission, providing meaningful and engaging experiences for our students. I'm also thankful to work at an institution where research informs our teaching and mentorship. In this appointment, I'll continue the impactful work of my predecessors, elevating our research profile and mentoring undergraduate research projects. Finally, I want to thank my co-authors, my parents who instilled a sense of pride in one's work, and my wife Kate who supports, encourages, and listens to my rants about Reviewer 2. Thank you again for this honor.
Good afternoon. I'm honored to present the first ever Sidney F. and Kathleen Jackson Professorship in Chemistry to Dr. Joel Carty. I'd like to say a little bit about Sidney Jackson as Joel's making his way up. Sidney F. Jackson was a 1930 Elon College graduate and longtime supporter of Elon, who credited his degree from Elon as the foundation for his professional success. He left a gift to Elon to support the study of science, funding this professorship, being awarded for the first time to support the work of a faculty member in physics or chemistry. Since 2001, the inaugural recipient of the Jackson Professorship, Dr. Joel Carty, has been a dedicated teacher, scholar, and mentor who holds students and undergraduate research mentees to high standards while also providing guidance to help them meet those standards. Students in his intro and upper-level chemistry courses frequently comment on his passion for the subject, on the way he balances challenge with support. Joel also takes a data-driven approach to his teaching and really all of his work, like data-driven work, and continues to experiment with teaching and assessment approaches to respond to student learning needs in ways that address achievement gaps and the current context. A past recipient of the Elon College Excellence in Scholarship Award and the Senior Faculty Research Fellowship, Dr. Carty is the author of numerous journal articles, as well as an organic chemistry textbook, which is now in its 3rd edition. Impressively, Dr. Carty has also developed organic chemistry prep book and other instructional support materials designed not only to help students learn the content, but also help them learn how to study and learn chemistry. In addition to his record of teaching, mentoring, and scholarship, Dr. Carty has a long history of departmental, school, and university service, including among this list, serving as a member and chair of academic council, serving on the budget committee, serving on the presidential search committee, and currently serving as department chair. I present to you Dr. Joel Carty, the inaugural Sidney F. and Kathleen Jackson Professor of Chemistry.
Well, I didn't realize I did all that stuff. But wow, what an honor, truly. And it's all that much more meaningful because I know how awesome my colleagues in the chemistry department are, sitting right up here behind my table even. Everybody in the department is incredibly talented, working their butts off, all pulling in the same direction. And because of that, I know that any number of my colleagues could have been the recipient of this award this year. And I just feel lucky to get it this go-round. More to the point, I owe my colleagues a ton of thanks because it's a direct result of all of that collective talent and mutual support in the department that I've been able to accomplish what I have over the years. And that support, talent, and collegiality does not stop within the Department of Chemistry. Colleagues from other departments are to credit as well. I'm grateful for the way that our department works together with other departments across campus, other amazing departments, whether it's service to other majors and coursework, shared equipment and spaces, or collaborations. And I have to give a big shout out to the offices of the dean, the provost, and the president. There are, of course, times when they have to say no, but they're always looking for ways to say yes. And I'm lucky to have some of my family here with me today. My amazing wife, Valerie, talented in so many ways, loving, supportive, and patient. And my younger son, Jacob, is with me today as well, simply awesome and brilliant. And my older son, Joshua, was here up until a few days ago, but alas, he had to fly out to LA for work. Well, I've said it many times over the years, and I'll say it again. None of my accomplishments would have been possible without my family. Their love and support motivates me, keeps me grounded, and most importantly, keeps me sane. Thank you very much. Love to you all.
Good afternoon. Before we begin our award presentations, I've been asked to make a few brief announcements. First, as part of our sustainability efforts, and another thank you from the university, the person whose program has a monogram Elon E on the back may leave with the geranium on that table and enjoy its blooms throughout the summer months. We could not have an event like today or the thousands of other meetings and events we host on campus without the support and dedication of our Elon Dining Services partners, our event setup and moving crew, environmental services, cultural programs, print services, and technology. Please join me in a community thank you for their commitment to the goals of Elon University. Okay, so today is a day of celebration. Over the next several minutes, we will present 4 major university awards: the Stephen and Patricia House Excellence in Mentoring Award, the Periclean Award for Civic Engagement and Social Responsibility, the Distinguished Scholar Award, and the Daniels-Danieley Award for Excellence in Teaching. You can find a listing of all previous award recipients in your program. At the conclusion of the ceremony, we ask today's award recipients to please come to the front of the room so that we may take photographs. It is my honor to be able to present the Stephen and Patricia House Excellence in Mentoring Award. Beginning in 2007, Elon University has annually recognized a faculty or staff person who has demonstrated a sustained commitment to Elon undergraduates through outstanding mentoring. This award reflects the high value Elon places on faculty and staff who demonstrate a sustained commitment to the intellectual and holistic development of undergraduates as a mentor. This year's awardee is praised for their deep impact and commitment to inspiring, challenging, supporting, and celebrating the whole student. Their mentoring of Elon students and alumni is powerful. One alumnus remarked that this year's recipient has given me countless tools to thrive in the classroom and in my professional life. They mentored me into becoming a well-versed, knowledgeable person. One nominator describes this year's recipient as someone who is beyond supportive, continuously encouraging me throughout the entire research process and helping me find motivation during challenging times. This colleague's dedication to their students fosters trusting relationships that last well beyond their time at Elon. One former student writes that I've had many great professors during my time at Elon, though none have had the impact on me that this colleague has, and I'm forever grateful for their mentorship. One nominator emphasized that this year's awardee taught me valuable lessons about the journey it takes to become a professional. They have shown me that it is possible to be a parent, a professor, a business owner, a mentor, a student, someone with confidence, someone who is still learning, and so much more. One student remarked, "This colleague has served as an unparalleled mentor and advisor, guiding me through complex landscapes and personal growth opportunities. Their open-door policy and genuine concern for my well-being has fostered a nurturing atmosphere where students like me feel valued and supported." Former and current students shared that this year's recipient got to know them as individuals, supporting their learning and personal growth. One alum writes, "Their impact on my life and the lives of many others will be felt long after our time at Elon." And another writes that this colleague helped me to be more confident in my decision-making and more comfortable showcasing my skills to other people. Throughout the nomination materials, this colleague is described as challenging, insightful, generous, and supportive, committed to mentoring, inclusion, and student well-being. And this colleague has created countless opportunities for students pursuing careers in the sport industry, including women influencers in sport. She has advised the Sport Management Society, mentored students in undergraduate research, chaired the Academic Standing Committee, and has been recognized with the School of Communications Dean's Award for Leadership. Please join me in celebrating the recipient of the 2024 Stephen and Patricia House Excellence in Mentoring Award, our friend and colleague, Shayna Dabbs, Associate Professor of Sport Management.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm so honored. I think out of all the awards, this is probably the most meaningful. It's all about the students, and when I look at our students, I think about my 3 young boys and the type of professor I would want them to have if they're at Elon or another institution, and my students give me more than I could ever give them, but in particular, in the sport industry, it's a male-dominated industry, and as a product of a single mom raising 2 kids, I never knew any different besides dreaming big and being able to reach those dreams, and I want to pour that into my students. And so creating the WINS program was paramount in providing a space where they can gain and grow in confidence and dream big and believe that they can go and do anything that they want to do. And so when I think about our alums and I think about our current students, my soul, my bucket is filled because I'm passionate about just seeing them succeed and seeing them grow, and I'll turn over every rock and stone to make sure that they have the opportunity to do that. So I want to thank my colleagues in the sport management department who challenge me every single day, but also I see that they're living out their passion. And so I just encourage you all to think about what fills up your soul, what fills up your bucket, and pursue that unapologetically, because our students see that in us, and they love that in us, and they know that we care about them. Thank you so much.
Because of its location on Lake Erie and its connection to several major modes of transportation, railways, highways, Ashtabula, Ohio, has been a hub for shipping and trade for hundreds of years. It is then, perhaps no surprise, that one of its best exports is this year's winner of the Periclean Award for Civic Engagement and Social Responsibility. He knows it's him now, because who else is from Ashtabula, Ohio? What may come as a surprise, however, is that today's awardee founded the Periclean Scholars Program, which is a cohort-based learning experience that focuses on forming mutually beneficial partnerships locally and abroad, and yet has never received the Periclean Award. I'm sure you'll agree that it's extraordinarily exciting that in this, the 20th year of the Periclean Scholars Program, that the recipient of the Periclean Award for Civic Engagement and Social Responsibility is Tom Arcaro. Don't get up yet. In 2006, Tom shepherded the inaugural class to Namibia, where students focused on HIV/AIDS awareness and education. Since that first cohort, Periclean scholars have provided service around the world, including in Mexico, Sri Lanka, the Lakota Nation in South Dakota, Morocco, and right here in Alamance County. Hundreds of students have been inspired by Tom's mission to imagine a more just world for all. For nearly 2 decades, he has immersed himself in researching and studying the humanitarian aid ecosystem, shedding light on the complex issues surrounding aid and development. His publications, including Aid Worker Voices and Confronting Toxic Othering, have provided a roadmap for reflective approaches to considering challenges facing communities around the world. Recently, Tom's commitment to social justice took him to Bangladesh, where he led a transformative course for humanitarian aid workers and engaged in discussions on allyship and strategies for addressing injustice. His efforts to unmask power dynamics in humanitarian response exemplified his unwavering commitment to creating a better world for all. The committee that reviewed Tom's contributions to our students, campus, and community stated that throughout his distinguished career at Elon University, Tom has epitomized the core values of our institution. His unwavering dedication to partnering with students, staff, and faculty in addressing global, social, and environmental issues has left an indelible mark on our community. Whether it's giving students the tools to serve in a global context or collaborating with colleagues to develop innovative solutions to wicked human challenges, Tom's passion for creating positive change is infinite. Please join me in celebrating the recipient of this year's Periclean Award for Civic Engagement and Social Responsibility to Tom Arcaro. Say some good stuff.
Say some good stuff. Stuck for words right now. I'm very honored by this award. I remember sitting in Dr. Lambert's office when he presented the idea of Project Pericles at Elon University. And I remember what I discussed with him. I said what I would like to create is a program where students walk off the stage at graduation, not asking, how can I make a living with this, degree, but rather how can I make the world a better place with this degree? And I think the Periclean Scholars Program has lived out that discussion with Dr. Lambert. And I have been humbled by the number of faculty that have become part of that program, and humbled by all of the students, all of the Periclean scholars over the years that devoted their academic careers to making the world a more just place. Prenab opened the door a little bit for this comment. What is happening right now is obviously in the Middle East, in Gaza, is something that we must take note of. And I think as a Periclean scholar person, I think we need to use our critical thinking skills and understand as deeply as we can and look at the multiple truths. And so I'm very honored by this award. Thank you so much.
Elon's Teacher, Scholar, Mentor statement defines scholarship as the creative process of inquiry and exploration that adds to the knowledge or appreciation of disciplinary or interdisciplinary understanding. Further, Elon faculty embrace the idea that teaching, scholarship, and mentoring are often inseparable because scholarship is a foundation of teaching, and our mentorship can weave together the boundaries of our classrooms and scholarly endeavors. It's in this spirit that each spring we recognize a member of the teaching faculty who represents the ideals of scholarly engagement central to our mission and values. It is my pleasure today to recognize the 25th recipient of the Distinguished Scholar Award. This year's awardee is noted for exceptionally high productivity in the area of human movement and postural control, with nearly 60 peer-reviewed publications, over 200 peer-reviewed scholarly presentations, and more than $50,000 in external grant funding. Known for his collaborative approach and inclusion of students in his research, the awardee has 14 external research collaborations and multiple internal, interdisciplinary, and cross-university collaborations. He has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to mentoring both undergraduate and graduate students in research on aging, neuroscience, sports, and biomechanics, providing opportunities to present at professional conferences and to co-author peer-reviewed publications. Today's awardee is dedicated to instilling in his students a commitment to intellectual endeavors and a lifelong devotion to learning and the ideals of citizenship. As a colleague at The Ohio State University notes, this year's awardee has mentored students to great success in presenting and publishing in top-tier journals and the primary annual meetings of 2 disciplinary societies. These students have been recognized for their success with 19 research-related awards they've won since 2014. The recipient is also dedicated to improving the lives of others, facilitating 25 research projects, working with a wide range of populations, including children, athletes, older adults, and individuals with Parkinson's disease. One of the most powerful outcomes of his research has been grants for in-person and virtual exercise programs to benefit individuals with Parkinson's disease and lung cancer survivors. Today's awardee is known for his generosity, consistently supporting the efforts of his colleagues in the School of Health and Health Sciences and beyond. As one colleague remarks, he's made me a more impactful scholar. When the statistical analyses required were beyond my capabilities, he stepped in, taught himself the appropriate procedures, and handled the data analysis expertly. Another Elon colleague states, he has repeatedly demonstrated the ability to assist faculty in a wide variety of research settings, collaborating with colleagues successfully and skillfully conserving research activity into research product. In the words of another external colleague, he not only meets, but indeed exceeds the criteria for this award, showcasing an exemplary blend of academic rigor, clinical application, and a profound impact on the field. Please join me in congratulating Elon's 2024 Distinguished Scholar, newly promoted to Professor of Physical Therapy Education in February and fondly referred to by his students as Dr. V, Shrikant Vallabhajasula.
Wow, this is unexpected. Thank you so much, everyone. Not lots of words actually, but as Provost Cohn said, large part of the award is a big thanks to my colleagues who have allowed me to step into their projects and complicate it as much as they hated it, but in an effort to improve it maybe. And also to my students who actually work tremendously hard to help all of us actually do what we do. It's beyond imagination as to how much effort actually a lot of my students put in. Big thanks to my family who have endured countless hours of me working on research projects sometimes and bearing with me to do what I need to do first before returning to them. One thing I would like to say is, I've learned this in my postdoc experience, where to be successful in research, especially in collaborations, you need to put your ego aside, and that has helped me quite a lot in exploring partnerships here. I've had colleagues within my department, but even outside my department who have allowed me to work with them and contribute my ideas to them and help me to flourish with all the scholarly products that Professor Cohn mentioned. But truly appreciate this award. Every year when I attend this ceremony and I look at the list of awardees who have gotten this award, most of the times I felt like, that's not going to be me, because see the profile of the winners who have gotten, it's tremendous. Like Caroline Ketchum, for example, Eric Hall, they have had so much success, and I was like, one day maybe, and today's the day, I guess. So thank you so much.
The Daniels-Danieley Award for Excellence in Teaching, established by President Emeritus Earl Danieley and his wife Verona in honor of their parents, has been given annually since 1973 to a faculty member recognized as one of Elon's master teachers. Previous recipients of the Daniels-Danieley Award are listed in your program, and many of these outstanding faculty members are here today. I invite them to stand and be recognized. Previous students share that this year's Daniels-Danieley winner balances encouragement with high standards, fostering an inclusive learning environment where all feel welcome and everyone has the opportunity to thrive academically. This professor challenges students to think analytically and creatively, empowering them to become active participants in their own education. A graduate notes that this year's awardee identifies one's strengths and amplifies them while still having honest conversations about areas that will benefit from refinement. She has a unique combination of kindness and reverence juxtaposed with an endless pursuit of excellence. Another recalls how this professor has exceptional knowledge, but at the same time is willing to say when they don't know something, a source of stability and kindness that goes beyond the classroom. and that this professor's mentoring extends long after graduation. As a professional colleague, they continue transforming me. Colleagues call this year's awardee a genuine teacher, scholar, mentor who pushes herself to improve each year, demonstrating unwavering integrity and exceptional dedication and innovation. And this professor's teaching philosophy is rooted in a genuine desire to inspire intellectual curiosity, critical thinking, compassion, and collaboration among students. This year's awardee is one of the most popular faculty in life at Elon and a scholar who has published traditional disciplinary research and co-authored a textbook used in most programs in their field. One of the chief architects of their program's innovative and integrative curriculum, this visionary teacher helped introduce simulation-based experiences in their classes, a practice that is now common across the country in their field. This year's awardee teaches the very first course that students in their program take at Elon, where, as a graduate writes, students come to understand the foundational moral structure of a life of service without which the entire profession fails. Another graduate notes simply, "I think everyone in the medical profession needs a class like this for better patient outcomes." It's no surprise then that this year's awardee has written a book called Transforming Students. Indeed, more than 1,000 graduates of Elon's Department of Physical Therapy Education have gained important foundational psychosocial and patient care information in this course, extending the impact of this professor's teaching to tens of thousands of patients. Beyond that one course, the psychosocial aspects of illness and wellness, this year's awardee also teaches other courses in geriatrics, mobility, and clinical reasoning. One graduate says, "She has been instrumental in my life and the lives of many students and professionals, instilling in everyone the joys of lifelong learning through her excellent mentorship." Another describes how she centers the humanity of students and patients in all she does, demanding DPT students to see as whole humans the people who are so often marginalized is quite possibly the best lesson I learned from her. And Dr. Charity Johansson instructed me academically, but more importantly, she taught me deep compassion, empathy, and sensitivity for others, and did so by living that example right in front of me. Please join me in congratulating this year's winner of the Daniels-Danieley Award for Excellence in Teaching, Charity Johansson, Professor of Physical Therapy Education and Interim Department Chair.
Last year at this ceremony, I left with the geraniums, and that was pretty cool. So thank you to everybody involved in the nomination and the selection. This is indeed an honor because I look at all these people that have helped shape me and my teaching. I think it was Emerson said that the years teach much which the day never knows, and that we do this every day and hope that we have a positive effect. And it's truly my privilege to be doing that day after day with such amazing colleagues. Thank you all.
Congratulations. It's really great to see that, and I hope you feel inspired by what you heard here today and saw here today. It's just what we need to make it through to the finish line next Friday. Thank you all for your outstanding work in this academic year. You truly make Elon, so it's really a remarkable day to hear from the testimony of so many. I wish you a wonderful conclusion to this academic year and a restful summer. Take care. Thank you.